Zoological conspiracy theories involving Israel are occasionally found in the media or on the internet, typically in Muslim-majority countries, alleging use of animals by Israel to attack civilians or to conduct espionage. These conspiracies are often reported as evidence of a Zionist or Israeli plot. Examples include the December 2010 shark attacks in Egypt, Hezbollah claims of capturing Israeli spying eagles, and the 2011 capture in Saudi Arabia of a Griffin vulture carrying an Israeli-labeled satellite tracking device. Birds, as well as other animals, are often tagged with GPS tracking devices or identification bands to record their movements for animal migration tracking and similar reasons. The high-resolution tracks available from a GPS-enabled system can potentially allow for tighter control of animal-borne communicable diseases such as the H5N1 strain of avian influenza. According to Ohad Hatzif, an avian ecologist for the Israel's Nature and Parks Authority, the idea that tagged birds are used for spying is absurd. Birds and other wildlife belongs to all of us and we have to cooperate, he stated. Ignorance causes these stupid beliefs that they are used for spying. Kestrel. In 2013, a kestrel carrying an Israeli footband was discovered by villagers in the Elazig province, Turkey. Initially, medical personnel at Farhat University identified the bird as Israeli spy in their registration documents. However, after thorough medical examinations, including X-ray scans, the bird was determined to be carrying no electronic equipment. No charges were filed and the kestrel was freed and allowed to continue its flight. Bee-eater. In May 2012, a dead European bee-eater with an Israeli leg band, used by naturalists to track migratory birds, was found by villagers near the southeastern Turkish city of Gaziantep. The villagers worried that the bird may have carried a microchip from Israeli intelligence to spy on the area and alerted local officials. The head of the Agriculture and Livestock Provincial Directorate in Gaziantep, Akif Aslanpay, examined the corpse of the bee-eater and stated that he found that the nose of the bird is very different and much lighter than others, and that it can be used for audio and video, which, in the case of Israel, they do. A counter-terrorism unit became involved before Turkey's agriculture ministry assured villagers that it is common to equip migratory birds with rings in order to track their movements. The BBC correspondent, Jonathan Head, ascribed the event to his view that wildly implausible conspiracy theories take root easily in Turkey, with alleged Israeli plots among the most widely believed. Vultures. In December 2012, a Sudanese newspaper reported that the Sudan government had captured a vulture in the town of Karainak, which they said was an Israeli spy bird and was tagged in Hebrew and equipped with electronic devices. Ohad Hatzif, the avian ecologist, told Israeli news site Ynet, "This is a young vulture that was tagged, along with 100 others, in October. He has 2 wing bands and a German-made GPS chip." Hatzif denied that the device had any photographic capabilities. In an interview with CNN, he stated that, "I'm not an intelligence expert, but what would be learned from putting a camera onto a vulture? You cannot control it. It's not a drone that you can send where you want. What would be the benefit of watching a vulture eat the insides of a dead camel?"
Eagles. In 2013, Hezbollah claimed that an Israeli spying eagle had been captured in Lebanon. They claimed that the eagle was one of many birds sent by Israel to spy and gather information via GPS transmitters across the Middle East. Tel Aviv University responded, "This morning the media reported on an Israeli spy that was caught by Hezbollah. The spy is a predatory fowl that was part of a research project conducted by Tel Aviv University on raptors. The eagle that had been shot down and delivered to Hezbollah was a young and endangered Bonelli's eagle. Israeli ornithologist Yossi Leshem said he was tracking the bird for research and was incredibly frustrated it was killed. Unfortunately, this bird made the stupid mistake of moving to Lebanon. It's not enough that they kill people, now they are killing birds too. A rare tagged eagle from the Golan Heights Gamla Nature Reserve that was captured by Syrian opposition forces and first suspected of carrying electronic espionage devices was then returned to Israel on the 5th of September 2017, as a gesture in recognition of the medical treatment Israel has provided to Syrians during the Syrian civil war. Griffin vultures. The griffin vulture has nearly disappeared from the mountains of Israel and is the subject of a reintroduction project. As part of that project, vultures are tagged with radios and labels to keep track of the population. In 2011, a griffon vulture with a wingspan of about 8 feet, 2.4 m, was caught by a hunter near Ha'il, Saudi Arabia, wearing a GPS device and a Tel Aviv University leg tag. Rumors spread among locals, repeated in some Saudi newspapers, that the bird was sent by Israel to spy on the country. Prince Bandar bin Sultan, then Secretary General of the Saudi National Security Council, dismissed the rumors, said the equipment on the bird was simply there for scientific study, and that the bird would be quickly released. Saudi wildlife authorities agreed that the equipment was for solely scientific purposes. Some Saudi journalists rushed in carrying the news of this bird for the sake of getting a scoop without checking the information. They should have asked the competent authorities about the bird before publishing such news, Bandar said at the time. Israeli officials described the rumor as ludicrous and said they were stunned. A spokesman for Israel's Park and Nature Authority told the Israeli daily Ma'ariv that Israeli scientists use GPS devices to track migration routes. The device does nothing more than receive and store basic data about the bird's whereabouts, he said. The Israeli ornithologist Yossi Leshem of Tel Aviv University said that this was the third such detention of a bird tracked by Israeli scientists in 3 decades. He reported that Sudanese authorities detained an Egyptian vulture in the late 1970s and a white pelican in the early 1980s, both carrying Israeli equipment used for animal migration tracking. In January 2016, a griffon vulture with an Israeli tag was captured by residents of the Lebanese village of Bint Jabal on suspicion of espionage after flying 4 kilometers, 2.5 miles, across the border. The bird was tied by rope and, according to Lebanese security officials, checked for listening devices. The bird was later repatriated to Israel by UN peacekeepers. Sharks. In December 2010, several shark attacks occurred off the South Sinai resort of Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. Following the attacks, in an interview on Taufik Okasha's popular but controversial Egypt Today television show, a Captain Mustafa Ismail, introduced as a famous diver, alleged that the GPS tracking device found on one of the sharks was in fact a guiding device planted by Israeli agents. Prompted in a television interview for comments, the governor of South Sinai, Mohammed Abdul Fadhil Shusha, initially said, "What is being said about the Mossad throwing the deadly shark to hit tourism in Egypt is not out of the question, but it needs time to confirm." The Israeli Foreign Ministry, in response, suggested that Shusha had seen Jaws one time too many. The governor later dismissed any connection between the event and Israel. Describing the conspiracy connection to Israel as sad, Professor Mahmoud Hanafi, a marine biologist at Suez Canal University, pointed out that GPS devices are used by marine biologists to track sharks, not to remote control them. Egyptian officials suggested that the attacks were due to overfishing, illegal feeding, the dumping overboard of sheep carcasses, or unusually high water temperatures. Amr Yosef, adjunct professor of political science at the American University in Cairo, wrote that this and other similar conspiracy theories result from a misconception among the Egyptian public that Israel is all-powerful. Yosef wrote, "Notwithstanding that such allegations have no factual or logical grounds, no one stops to ask, why should an Israel facing serious security challenges, Iran, Hamas, Hezbollah, etc., busy itself with that kind of stuff?" Mammals. Mammals have been used by the Israel Defense Forces since its inception in 1948. Pack animals such as mules and camels are used to negotiate rough terrain and haul equipment. The IDF conducts special operations training with llamas that are able to hide soldiers from heat detection devices. Anti-tank dogs were used in Operation Blue and Brown, a 1988 attack on the headquarters of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, General Command in Lebanon. Antelope and oryxes have been introduced to Israeli army bases to clear vegetation, while Barbary sheep are used to guard ammunition depots. Among the mammals that have been cited in Israel-related animal conspiracy theories are swine, hyenas, rodents, and a dolphin. Dolphins. The first accusation that Israel employs dolphins for espionage was made on the 19th of August, 2015, when the Izz ad-Din al-Qassam brigades of Hamas claimed they captured one wearing cameras and other equipment off the Gaza coast. Iran's Fars news agency called it instead an Israeli-made robot dolphin equipped with espionage equipment, including video recording cameras. Israel did not just stop at the bloody attacks against the Gaza Strip, the Arabic-language Palestinian daily Al-Quds reported. Now it has recruited a watery pet, the dolphin, known for his friendship with humans to use for operations to kill Qassam Brigade naval commandos. The Israel Defense Forces did not respond to the accusation, but Foreign Policy magazine noted that while dolphins have been used by various militaries, including by both the United States and Russia, this report likely falls into what is a surprisingly fertile genre of conspiracy theories. The notion that Israeli intelligence routinely uses all manner of birds and other animals as tools of espionage. Nonetheless, in January 2022, a masked spokesman for the al-aqsa brigades claimed in a video message that Israeli security forces had recently used another dolphin to chase Hamas frogmen off the coast of the Gaza Strip. Pigs. On several occasions, Palestinian National Authority President Mahmoud Abbas accused Israel of releasing wild boars to destroy agricultural fields in the West Bank in order to cause damage to produce and intimidate Palestinian farmers. "Every night they release wild pigs against us," Abbas was quoted as saying in one speech. An Israeli government official rejected the allegations, commenting that it's a pity the Palestinian Authority president chooses to propagate such rubbish, and it raises questions about his real position on Israel. On the 5th of May 2016, a 10-year-old Palestinian girl was bitten on the hand either by a wild boar and suffered shock as a result. Palestinians blamed Israeli settlers for deliberately releasing boars in the West Bank to deliberately attack villagers as a way to keep them off their land, while others claimed that the Israeli West Bank barrier affected the habitat of wild boars, possibly leading to higher concentrations of the animal's population in certain areas. "Using wild boars is part of an older Zionist imperative to colonize nature," claimed Palestinian researcher Rawan Samamre. Rats. Allegations involving rats was on the news on the 13th of March 2018, when Jordanian TV host Dr. Bakr al-Abadi told his viewers on Jordanian Prime TV the Zionist entity gathered all the rats carrying the bubonic plague in Norway and released them in all the Egyptian provinces near the Sinai. According to several Egyptian sources, this operation took place in 1967, and these rats still exist in very large numbers. These rats breed very quickly and cause significant harm to crops. They devour these crops very quickly and destroy grain silos. Even children are not safe from them. These rats often bite children's limbs. According to these sources, the Zionist entity, since the beginning of the normalization of its ties with Cairo, managed to smuggle chemical fertilizers and rotten seeds into Egypt, leading to the destruction of vast areas of soil and crops in Egypt. This is a well-planned strategic operation, with both short-term and long-term implications, but the clear goal is to annihilate the Arab world. Cattle. On December 27, 2022, Al-Hayat al-Jadida, the official newspaper of the Palestinian National Authority, reported that Rusht Morar, a village elder of Kirbet Yanun near Nablus, claimed that Israeli cattle are recruited and trained spies. These are recruited and trained cattle, as on the neck of each cow they hang a medallion with an eavesdropping and recording device on it, and sometimes cameras in order to monitor every detail in Kirbet Yanun, large and small, he said, and repeated the assertion that settlers release herds of wild boars to destroy Palestinian crops, reptiles. In February 2018, Hassan Firuzabadi, a military advisor to Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, accused Western countries, including Israel, of spying on Iranian nuclear sites using lizards and chameleons, which, according to him, attract atomic waves. "We found out that their skin attracts atomic waves and that they were nuclear spies who wanted to find out where inside the Islamic Republic of Iran we have uranium mines and where we are engaged in atomic activities," he said.